Hello everyone. So I did my project on how social media impacts teens. So social media is a big platform, and so lots of people are on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. And people are constantly checking these, so I figured since it's something huge that is in our everyday lives, I chose to write about it and make it into my project. So my intro is social media is a huge part of this generation's everyday lives. Although social media can be considered all fun and games, it can also be harmful in many different ways. From limited privacy to online predators, no one can safely post anything and not leave some sort of digital footprint behind. And I will go more into this down below. So let's get on with it. So with the first part, I just put the pros and cons to social media. So some positive effects of having social media are you are more in tune with what's going on around in the world. So this is like current events and just like watching news, I guess. And it is easier to communicate with others. You can virtually talk to anyone in the world with social media. It's just with the press of a button and you can talk to anyone you want. It can boost self-esteem, and this can go both ways. It can boost self-esteem in posting, say like you post a picture on Instagram and lots of people comment on it saying, "Oh, you look so pretty." That boosts self-esteem. But it can also work in the reverse way, which I will talk with the negatives. It is easy to keep up with friends. That one's pretty self-explanatory. You can spread awareness of different platforms and organizations, and this kind of goes with promoting peace, like we talked about in one of our Prezi presentations for one of the weeks on Packback. And then it is easier to promote peace and gain supporters with social media platforms, and again, that goes along with the Prezi that we learned about. And also, we are always accessible. We are constantly on our phones, and social media provides a way to talk to other people. So that's another way that we're always accessible and always can be within contact of one another. So some negative effects of having social media: it is easier for strangers to learn about your life. Accounts can get hacked, and that can be detrimental to some people. People start to worry too much about self-image, and that goes along with the self-esteem thing. So say someone were to post a picture on Instagram and no one likes it, their thought process is going to be, hey, I don't look good enough for people to like this. Why am I not as pretty as the next person who gets 100 plus likes? The next one is cyberbullying is easier to get away with, and this goes along with people hiding behind a screen and not knowing how much their words can affect other people. Once something is posted online, it is hard to get off the internet, so that kind of goes along with leaving your footprint or like your digital footprint within the internet. Privacy is very limited, and that topic I will talk more about down below. And then it puts too much information out for the world to see. And people are very open on explaining exactly what they're doing every minute of the day continuously. And I will talk more about that as well. So down here, I found an article from the Huffington Post, and it outlined some of the downfalls that social media plays on this generation. And it basically said that we're so involved in social media and making sure that we have a presence. And like, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be doing this, but it's a lot to keep up with, and it takes up most of people's times. So that can lead to stuff like sleep deprivation, getting addicted to the internet and social media. And I saw something where it says that it reduced productivity rates. And what I thought was interesting is that it's linked to social network obesity. And the next thing that I found was a TEDx talk. And this goes along with some of the problems that I see in social media, and that would be lack of privacy and the way that it can promote bias and conflict. So with this TEDx talk, Jake Swayze is highlighting the importance of how people are capable of looking into any aspect of our lives, especially in regards to finding out location of others and contacting strangers. And he kind of talked about how we're so accessible and anyone can talk to us, and it's all within the press of a button, and we virtually have no private life anymore, and it's because all of our personal lives are broadcasted to the world. And although some people don't do this, most teenagers nowadays have most of their lives posted on, say, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. And this right here was the Prezi from week 7. It is a social media Prezi that was posted for our class, and I put that in here because it brought up a few interesting points, and it brought up points that privacy gained my attention because anything that we post online can be used against us. And with this being said, jobs can look into this, and when they're trying to hire you, they're going to see the things that you've posted online, and if it's something negative, that can determine whether or not you're going to get that job. And another thing that I found interesting was a scenario where social media is dangerous with home security and how thieves can use social media to attack. And so my little scenario was that your family was going to go to Mexico, and you have been so excited to go. You've been posting all over social media like Facebook, Twitter, you name it, and you are telling everyone about it. And so when you end up going to Mexico, you post how you've gotten to the resort and everything. And someone that saw your tweet, could be a total stranger, could be a friend, they see that you're going to Mexico and your entire family is going with you. And with that being said, they have the possibility of looking up your address, because if you say put like a geotag with one of your Instagram pictures, it can be linked to where you live, it can be linked to your location. It is very easy to figure out locations of where people are just by a picture. And so this thief could have looked up the picture and saw that, hey, this picture was posted at what looks to be is your home. So he'll look up that and go to the address, and guess what? No one's home, so might as well rob it. So when you get back from the trip, your house was ransacked and valuables are missing, and you don't know what happened. But guess what? It's because on social media you posted everywhere that you were going on the trip, and that was used as wide open doors to go and do this. And I've had this happen to numerous people that I'm close with, so it's very scary to think about that, and this could be prevented by keeping our private lives more private. And along with the lack of privacy, people always tend to complain about others always knowing their personal life and their business, but a part of it is that they are involved with posting about their daily lives, that they put it out for the world to see. So it's partially their fault. And so I put this tweet on here, and it says, if you don't want people in your business, stop posting it on social media. Plain and simple. Aside from privacy, social networking can lead to things like conflict and cyberbullying. And so right here, I am focusing more on the cyberbullying part of it. And this picture is a good example of things that can be said to people online. So like over here, it says on Instagram, someone said you're worthless, you're a loser, can't believe you even show up to school, nobody wants you here. And this kind of stuff makes a big impact on people. People don't understand that when they're behind a screen, their words still make effects on others. And we've seen many articles within the news of how cyberbullying has resulted in people committing suicide. And this is a big problem within this world and this society, and we need to figure out a way to stop it. And the last thing that I put is that a simple solution to the problems that social media drag along with it is to limit the amount of time spent on these platforms, to limit the time that we spend on it, because we can get addicted to this and it's not as productive to just go on these platforms. We can try to limit what we say on each platform, and that kind of goes along with the thieves subject that I was talking about earlier. Only post things that are not considered mean, and that hints towards the cyberbullying, and to watch what you say because words do hurt. And the last thing is to strengthen privacy policies and make sure not to post pictures or statuses with geotags, and that also goes along with the tracking. And so this was my Storify, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a little more about how social media can be a bad thing and how it affects teens in this society.